yay. And here we go.
We run the city, we run the town.
Hey, yay, we back, we live, y'all. Dopestology. I'm King Dopest, your host, along with my co-host, the wonderful, amazing
Dopest Melanin. What's up, guys?
We got a dope show lined up for y'all tonight. But as normal, we will play the theme music while we let some people get up in this joint.
Yeah. For the people. Let them come on in.
You feel me? So today on Dopestology, we will be talking about mental health, our worst secret. Yeah, it's a deep one, y'all. It's a deep one. What's up, Chris? What's goody? Chris Zoomwalk music in the building. You guys, make sure you guys say hi. Hit the subscription and thumbs up and all that good stuff.
Okay, we see y'all coming in.
Thank you, thank you. Want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, our first sponsor, Vala's Clothing. Shout out to my guy Ruben. Hey Melissa. Hey, shout out to Melissa. Dina Love. That's my little sis right there. Yeah, we put together something good for the night show. Real talk. Alrighty. Welcome to the second episode of Dopestology. It's a hell of a topic. This is a hell of a topic. Mental health, our worst secret. It's a topic that Melanin came up with. I came up with the title for the specific reason is mental health is something that people just don't like talking about. You know what I mean? It's something that people are scared to talk about, scared to deal with. But as I've learned, particularly in the last several years, dealing with so many people on a daily basis, something that needs to be dealt with and addressed. But before we get to that, who is our Black History Month person of the day? Melanin, you chose them.
Okay, guys. Our Black History, we chose Angela Davis. All right, so yes, isn't that powerful? That photo speaks volumes. Okay, she was amazing, activist, politician, Black Panther, philosopher, amazing, educated Black woman. So shout outs to Miss Angela Davis.
Our Black History person of the day, any day.
So and she's current history because she's still doing her thing. This is current history.
She's still doing her thing.
She's still doing her thing.
Making history daily.
Period.
Okay. So let's do this.
right, guys. So we want to bring to you a scenario from one of our celebrities that we see all the time, that we see in movies. Um, he's an artist. He's a musical artist. He's an actor. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx.
Jamie
Okay, and we
Foxx.
want to salute. We want to salute Jamie Foxx, and I'm gonna tell you why, guys. He came out and he spoke publicly about what he's going through mentally, um, his history, because most people, as we know, with mental illness, is not a overnight disorder. This is something that normally stems from young age, and it may not be diagnosed. So we
Right.
want to talk about Jamie Foxx and his coming out with his dealings with mental health.
Right. Uh, and then it's always important when there's somebody in the media's eye that says they have something wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
They have an issue. It's always very important when there's somebody that people look up to. Jamie Foxx is somebody a lot of people look up to, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most talented men out there. In any genre he jumps in, he's one of the most talented.
Most
So for him to come out, it made me think. Uh, let me throw this up. I thought about my guy. Okay, Meta World Peace, formerly Ron Artest, now known as Meta Sandiford Artest. He changed his name again. A lot of people don't know that, but I love this guy, man. He was one of my favorite basketball players, for the spirit in which he played the game. But more importantly, when the Lakers won the championship in 2008, 2009 season, they put the mic on him literally seconds after winning. The first thing person he thanked was his psychiatrist. Um, yes, Melissa. Uh, so it was very important again. Somebody that is a role model to people, because a lot of people used to call him crazy all the time. Like, man, he ran up in the stands and fought all those fans back in the day. He's crazy. Well, he
He
really
got a
did.
lot of backlash for that. Yeah.
Yeah, he really did have issues.
Mm-hmm.
But he has been a pioneer and a big contributor to the push for mental awareness, mental health awareness. So yeah, when she told me about Jamie Foxx, I had no idea that he suffered from depression, which is a mental health issue. Hey Queen.
Hey,
Um,
Queen.
um, a lot of people think, oh, you just have to be some of the classic schizophrenic, like depression is a mental health issue. You know what I mean?
It's a mental health issue, and there's so many variations of it. It's not just something that can be easily visually diagnosed.
Right.
Um, so anyone could have a mental illness and you not even know it.
Let me see.
And that goes back to always speaking a kind word to people, because you never know what people are going through, really,
Mhm.
because
You
you can't tell, you can't see it.
and that's why I say it's our worst secret because
Absolutely.
although you have some people that are different degrees of mental health illness or situation. I really
Mm-hmm.
don't like using the word illness. Just mental health issues. You have varying degrees, and
All right, guys. Thank you so much for your patience there. We got a little technical difficulties, but yes, mental illnesses has many faces, guys, many faces. And I just want to go over some of the most common ones that you do hear about and that we see. One being the most common being clinical depression. Anxiety, bipolar, dementia, schizophrenia, ADHD. And I learned something because I had no idea that they even considered ADHD or ADD a mental disorder. OCD, PTSD, all of those are mental illnesses that we see most commonly in, amongst our communities and in the workplace, and it's in children. It really doesn't have a face. It really doesn't have a face. And it couldn't apply to anyone. And I'll just share my experience with mental illness. And it kind of hits home for me. My very own grandmother, she's been diagnosed with schizophrenia for well over 20, 30 years, as long as I can remember. And I don't have very many memories before her diagnosis, but it's one that's personal. It's one that's personal, and it takes very much understanding. It takes patience, and it takes love. It takes love. People who have mental illnesses, they already feel. Some may feel that they are different, or they're ashamed, or they are not normal. It's what society may say normal is. But I just see it as being different and unique. It's very much being different and unique. And me personally, I can't live without, with the fact of knowing that I could be without, or I could treat someone differently just because they're different. They're not like me. But we all go through struggles. We all go through struggles, guys. So we just want to take a moment, take a day to just bring some awareness to it, and just talk about it. Just openly talk about it, and hopefully that we can help somebody, and we can learn something from each other and share, what our experiences are with this. But I definitely want to give a shout out to Jamie Foxx for openly coming out and talking about his dealings with it. I know for a fact that recently he lost his sister. He had a younger sister, and he lost his sister, and he came out and said he just went into a spiral. He just went into a spiral. And oftentimes there is something that is triggered, or like I said, over time in your childhood, things that happen to you, things that you go through emotionally. All of those things play a part. All those things play a part.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Had a whole power outage. You held it down?
Yeah, we over here just chatting it up. But yeah, so I'm shout outs to him, because first of all, openly coming out and saying you have a problem is very, very big. Very, very big. Because most people aren't able to do that. But welcome back, King Dopest.
Man, ain't that crazy? Everything, the whole everything black. I said, what?
Did y'all wash y'all hands? If you did, hit the notifications, subscribe, like the videos, and welcome to Dopestology. Yeah!
And then I had this guy.
He's back.
So I'm sure I missed some interesting conversation. But I did catch the tail end of some of what you were saying. I wanted to talk, put some numbers up here, because we did some research, okay, to bring this to y'all today. 40% of adults reported struggling with mental health or substance use in late June of last year. 28% reported having symptoms of a depressive disorder. Depression. And this is what I found interesting, because of the people that I know that do suffer from some sort of mental health issue, they are drinkers. And I see the numbers: 14% increase in alcohol consumption, 41% increase in women that binge drink due to either their depression or mental health issues. I tell people this.
They're trying to cope with it. They're trying to figure out.
And you know, you don't want to always make this a race thing, but I just found that, like, in our culture, it's just a lot harder for people to go say, I need to go get checked out. You know, I need to talk to somebody. Something's going on with me. Because, I mean, let's face it, nobody wants to be looked at as having a mouth. Nobody wants to be called crazy. Nobody wants to be on medications. Nobody wants people to look at them differently. But I think once more people realize that there's more people just like them.
Just like you, yes.
You know what I mean? It's like not everybody got chronic back issues, but it's a lot of people that got chronic back issues. Not everybody got it. Not everybody got everything. You know what I mean? So it hurts because, you know, this affects me a lot. I know people that deal with this, suffer from this, in varying forms, like I said earlier. And they feel like that's a great way to put it, Amanda. They feel like they will be stereotyped. And, you know, I feel like with me personally, and I've said this before, I feel like I suffer from depression. I go through funks, and sometimes it's a week where I just can't get right. You know, like the dude in the movie Life can't get right. That's me. I just can't get right when I'm in that funk.
Yeah.
It is the real, depression.
That's Melissa. That's the real pandemic.
And with depression, because I have somebody that's close to me now, they deal with depression. And anxiety is a mother. Anxiety is a mother. You know, with anxiety brings a certain level of paranoia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So dealing with these issues is never easy, but unfortunately, when you don't deal with them, it leads to something. Because like with anything with health, if you don't take care of it, it's gonna get worse. Your mental health can deteriorate just like your physical health can deteriorate, and I think even more so rapidly. So when these things are not being addressed, you know, you really doing damage to yourself and the people around you, and it leads to some tragic things. I was talking with Melanin earlier about certain things to do with this, and it brought up something interesting that I didn't remember right offhand, but the mental health well checks that they do. Again, not everything's about race, right? But I just noticed when it comes to mental health, especially primarily when African American people call in to have their loved ones checked for a mental health check, a lot of times those health checks end tragically. So people don't like committing their people to institutions. I mean, just recently, let's check this out real quick. Just recently, we had this happen. They got video. I didn't want to have to play the video and all that, but uh, you know, you had to do it with the body cam in Houston, Killeen, Texas, and the family called. It was the family. It was the family that called. They wanted help. The man came outside. He was screaming, yelling. You know, he originally invited the officer in the house. You know, originally he invited the officer inside. The officer didn't want to come all the way in. Safety precautions, I guess. And so, you know, it got out of hand and the dude lost his life. Again, this is probably like the second or third time I saw that specific thing, exactly the same thing happen. So you have people that are entrusted with people that don't know how to, aren't equipped. I'm just going to say that.
Okay. Yeah, they're not trained properly to deal with those issues.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think about that as far as people's reluctance and unwillingness to, you know, put their people in the system in any kind of way?
I mean, well, as we know, a lot of people who are incarcerated, who have been in and out of jail, maybe, you know, for quite amount of time, their mental state is confined to a cell. Not just their physical, but their mental state is confined to a cell, and that's all that they can think about. That's all that they can, you know, see. So especially when it comes to rehabilitating those people, once they get out, they go back into society, they have to learn pretty much everything all over again, how to function in society.
Right. Well, and a lot of inmates,
if they had, you know, more treatment, or maybe, I don't know how it is, but, you know, I think that should be a part of your day just as well as you going to your cell to go to sleep. No, it should be people, therapists, people that, you know, you can talk to work on those things so that when they do get out and they are rehabilitated, that they can live successful life.
Right.
Because as we know, people deal with that and that are incarcerated and they get out. What do? They put you on the system, want to give you medication to say this is how you're going to be able to get help from, you know, resources and things like that. You know, you have to show proof that you have a mental issue.
Right.
And it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. I can't imagine living it myself, but it's difficult.
I mean, I've spoken on this numerous times, how I feel about therapy. Therapy was, hey, Quaya, therapy is one of the best things that ever happened to me. Just having, I mean, just quite honestly, just being in a room full of people that have similar issues, similar stories to you, it does wonders. I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't know whether any other kind of way to cut it. It does wonders. In my case, it was court ordered. I wish I would have had found, or somebody had led me that direction. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, like I said earlier, your friends and family, they're either reluctant, hesitant. Because I mean, just think.
Or they just don't know.
If melanin was displaying, you know, odd characteristics, you know, I'd be hesitant to say, "Hey, melanin, you're acting weird as fuck right now. Like, you need to go." No, I wouldn't say it like that. But I'm saying though, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying hypothetically. Okay. People in the UK are so lucky that we have a national health service, and that could be that's it. I'm glad you brought that to the table, Stuart, because I would not have known that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I learned something.
See, we in here learning something right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to go to somebody and tell them, "Hey, I think you need help."
Mm-hmm. It's hard for that person to say, "I need help."
I think it's easier to tell somebody that's an alcoholic or on drugs or something like that. I think it's easier to tell them that they need help than it is to tell somebody that that has a mental health issue. I think it's harder because, again, like we said, being on drugs and drinking, those are like obvious signs. A lot of people that have issues, sometimes they deal with them. They play the role in front of us to quote unquote be normal. You know what I'm saying? But behind closed doors, they exhibit until it gets out of control, and then that's when we start seeing it. A lot of times, by the time we see it, it's off the leash.
Far gone, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna flash this up.
I have a therapist.
Okay, talk to him, sister.
I have a therapist. I've been, I've done the whole marital counseling. But even after that, like I have my own individual therapist that I do see. And for me, it was just finding the right person. Because I'm saying right now, every therapist is not the therapist for you individually. You have to find the person that you are willing to open up to, that you feel comfortable with, that makes you feel comfortable, that gives you that environment to freely speak. And, even if it's not a professional therapist, just having somebody that you can go to.
When they say,
because sometimes they cry out for help and we don't notice it.
The professionals in the field need help to be able to help. We are overwhelmed by the lack of that, and this is 100% the truth. When they say the healthcare system is overwhelmed, this is part of the healthcare system. And I think this is part of the healthcare system. Like I said earlier, it's our worst secret. Mental health is our worst kept secret. Like, for real. We all know that it exists. We all know that it's an issue. And like I say, whether it's that this post I put up, this article I put up earlier, this was part of an article. I cropped it for entertainment purposes, but this right here was part of an article where senators were asking for more resources, for more help. So it's obviously something that we all know about, but it has to be, put on the forefront. I want to put this up here real quick. Sometimes that's the end result, unfortunately. And it's affected, like I say, Joy's lost a couple friends to suicide, that were suffering from issues that they needed somebody to talk to. And having somebody to talk to, I think, is like, I won't even say that's even more than half the battle. Because I couldn't imagine keeping all of that inside, just dealing with the fact that you know, you're going through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's definitely it's tough. But we just have to know some of the symptoms, know the signs. If you have someone that you're close to, friends, family, loved ones, if you see that something's not right, don't overlook it.
Right.
Don't overlook it.
Address it.
Address it head on.
Because
Excessive
initially,
worrying, fear, feeling sad or low consistently, confused thinking, or problems concentrating, extreme mood changes, all those are signs that something is not right.
mm-hmm.
I won't say it's a diagnosis, but just say something's not right, and just say,
Right.
hey friend, I need to check on you. Something not
I mean,
right. I don't
they
like
made
what I
it nice.
see. You wigged out earlier. What's
Mm-hmm.
going on?
Right. And like I said, initially they may deny it, but you never know. So you have to throw it out there.
You have to.
You have to throw it out there. I want to keep you guys in tune with what's going on tomorrow. Very special day. This was also put together by my associate producer over here, Dopest Melanin. We got the One Love House is going down tomorrow. The
You're
5 love languages. We will be discussing this as our Valentine's show. This will be our Valentine's topic. We're gonna be getting it in tomorrow, ladies, gentlemen. Make sure y'all show up. That will be at 8 p.m. So it'll be an hour earlier start tomorrow than we normally do for Dopestology. So y'all make sure y'all check out the One Love House tomorrow. That's
And
gonna be
trust me, you don't want to miss it. It's gonna be
it's
spicy,
gonna,
all of that. It's gonna be lit. You don't want to miss it.
and if by some reason you can't make it, make sure you guys, even for those of you that are watching live right now, at the conclusion of this, when it's up on the YouTube, go watch 3 minutes of it. All of that stuff helps Melon and I as we build up this show, and me specifically while we build up this channel. Okay, so y'all make sure y'all tune in tomorrow for that. Back to the topic. Mental health is something that if you ignore it for too long, I think that, I don't know if it's hereditary, but I feel like my family, I'm gonna just keep it real. And some of them probably gonna watch this, but they know what it is. Like, it's in my family for sure. Like, it's in my family for shiggity for sure. My grandmother, and I talk about my grandmother all the time. Anybody that knows me knows that my grandmother, B. Ivory Neighbors, Harvey, is one of the most, but she was crazy. In the most respectful way I could say it. And then, this is what she called. I done lost it again. Andre, I done lost it. They done put me back in that place. Like, she literally used to go to the institution, right? And so she would call me, and it was so weird because there was other times that she would play crazy. You feel me? Like, she would play crazy and say crazy things, but then she would kind of like, lead me to believe like I'm just acting this way, right now for whatever reasons. You know what I'm saying? Um, Hey, Shy. Oh, I'm so glad you made it. Love you, Shy.
Love you, Shy.
Yeah, y'all continue to pray for Shy. She deals with
Yes.
her niece's passing. She's out here in California. We hope to link up with her on Monday. But yeah, thank you, Shy. Hey, Simply the Dopest. But yeah, mental health. I'm glad we chose this topic. Like, I'm glad we didn't, and I don't plan on us shying away from any topics on this show. because I want people to get the information.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I want them to get the information, and then, you know, in all likelihood, hopefully, let out some emotions. Because, like I said, at some point, I exploded. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I exploded. Like, that's how I ended up in therapy. You know what I'm saying? Because I exploded. It
Yeah.
was after the fact where I could have did something to somebody or myself, you know. But again, that was a life-defining moment for me. Was having somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me, because we talked about this yesterday, that I hate to see people hurt. So I start getting depressed. I start feeling down.
Mm.
But I still want to be there for my friend, my loved one, my family member, you know. But you feel for them. You
Yeah.
feel for, it's not a joke. You know, we joke around and I may call, you know, Kisses some names. You crazy. Her name is Crazy Kisses, matter of fact. But you know, we joke around with certain aspects of it. But this is so beyond serious. Like Melissa said earlier in the comments, it's the ongoing pandemic. We've been having this pandemic.
Yeah.
Listen, Shy says sometimes there's no signs, so just love and support all the people in your life as much as you can. Well said. I couldn't say it better.
Yeah. And I can agree. I couldn't agree with you more, Shy. And just my own personal experiences with it. I was raised differently. Where you weren't able to really speak on how you were feeling, or if you were going through something. And it's no shade or pun intended to my parents. That's how they were raised, and that's how they raised me. So I felt like, I can say that now, looking back as an adult, looking back at my childhood, I didn't have that. I didn't have that open forum where I can say, hey, I have a problem. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm thinking. And it's so sad. I hate to say in our community, in our culture, but oftentimes is your emotional and how you're feeling gets shut down. It can be shut down by so many people, especially, people that are close to you. And I don't think they were doing it intentionally. That's just how they did the best that they could, and what they believe in. If you feeling some kind of way, you better suck it up and go in your room and just, it'll be okay. Go to sleep and wake up tomorrow, and it's all over. It's done with.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. That's damaging long term.
Mm-hmm.
And see, with me, that's one of the things that I said, and I learned about myself, and I implemented it in parenting my own kids.
Mm-hmm.
They can come to me and talk about anything. I don't care what it is. Yes, generational crisis. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
plays a part, and that goes back to our research. And studies have shown that most people who have these mental issues, 50% of all lifetime cases of mental illness begins by the age of 15.
And
So let that sink in. Let that sink in and say, okay, hey, at 15, how was I moving? How was I feeling? How was I behaving as a child? How were my emotions?
Mm-hmm.
And since I didn't have that, as I got older, it carried over. And a lot of times I have a hard time opening up to people for that same reason. And I'm working on that, but I didn't have that as a kid. I didn't have it.
So let me ask you, the two most looked down upon demographics of people, regardless of race or what? the homeless,
the
and
homeless,
the mentally ill, right?
mhm.
And it's crazy how those are intertwined. Most of the homeless, a lot of the homeless, have mental health issues. Uh, this is a whole overlooked demographic. You know, Kobe Bryant, a lot of people didn't know, like, that's the charity, that's the movement that he sponsored, was homelessness. Like, he had a real problem with people being homeless. That was one of Kobe Bryant's number one charities and uh, philosophical things that he was trying to change in people, where, like, we didn't just walk over the homeless. We didn't walk past the homeless and ignore them. We do the same with the mental people that suffer with mental health issues. Yeah. Um, Again, I'm gonna throw these up here because you never know. I mean, you know, these places are confidential. It's not something that you have to tell somebody that you went and did. But these numbers, some of these resources may lead you to the group or therapist or group therapy that you need, and in some cases, medication. Um, you know, like I said earlier, I know a lot of people that they don't want to take medication, but if, like you said, the numbers support that if these things generally start around 15, it goes back to what I said earlier, that by the time we even get a dose that you're mentally ill in any kind of way or having mental health issues, should I say,
It's been
it's
going on for a long
yeah,
time,
it's got out
and
of
you're not
control.
conscious of it. You may not be conscious of it.
Yeah, and it's gotten out of control.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so I mean, uh, I want to invigorate this movement that Joy had. I always mess up the name of it, but she had a whole thing, and it was called "Write the Letter" or "Read the Letter" or "Open the Letter." She's gonna kill me when she sees this, but uh, it was basically, you know, when people do themselves harm, they leave a letter,
Hmm.
and we would like to get that letter before that act. You know, cause we can't do nothing with the letter after you gone, but read it over and over again and cry. We want to start a movement to where you write that letter before you get to that stage of desperation, because that's what it is. You're desperate to be heard. You're desperate to be felt. Um, um, yeah, and it's nothing to be ashamed about. You know, I've kept people around me that everybody knew that they had serious mental health issues. And it's crazy. A lot of times the people around you will be like, hey, that person's crazy, or that person's this, or that person's that. I mean, I'm gonna go as far for you as I can until it becomes detrimental to me and my family. But, like, you know, that, I mean, that's just me being honest.
Yeah,
Um,
big facts. And you
yeah,
know, for me, it's crazy means crazy because I think that we all have some level of, you know, something that we're dealing with. Maybe not to that same extent, but you know, why not love on that person? And you know, like I said, I mean, I deal with people very, very close to me who have deal with these same issues. So I can never shun somebody away just because they're different or they're not happy or they're going through something. That's just not me. Never has. Never has.
um, wow.
Make sure you subscribe, hit those notification buttons. Melanie, you looking good. Dopest. I'm back.
Why you always gotta say my name like that though? Dopest.
Because
Why
that's
you
the
do it
dopest.
like that?
Guys, shout out to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being active. We see all of your beautiful comments. And if you have more that you want to discuss about this topic or any other topic, let us know. We welcome all the feedback. Any suggestions that we listen. We listen. We don't just talk. We listen.
Look at Queen. She busy right now. I know she be
I know
all
she's
in.
working
I know
hard.
she got her hands full right now. But y'all make sure y'all gonna get a dose of her tomorrow.
Yuri.
We. That's her right there in the middle. I swear that look like we finna be on an episode of Power.
Ooh.
That's looking like an episode of Power, Queen Dopest. Said great topic and show. Thank you. Tomorrow night we will be discussing the 5 love languages on the One Love House, our debut premiere episode. I look forward to that. Like I promised y'all, we gonna start cranking out this content. I need y'all help. Spread the word. Like they say, each one reach one, and maybe we'll teach some. You know what I'm saying? So get the word out there. I enjoyed. I got my sis. I know Melissa her whole life, damn near. That's my partner, little sister, man. So like, I've watched her grow into a woman. You know what I mean? So this is super dope. Dealing with this show and people that I know and getting their insight on things. You know what I mean? I see my man D3 baby all the way out of H-Town. Welcome to the broadcast, brother. But yeah, this was an important topic. We did not take it lightly. We had to go look at some things. And again, we don't have all the answers. We trying to lead y'all in the right direction. Hey, look who made
it.
Joy. Again, shout out to our sponsor, Vilas Clothing, also Side Pocket Apparel. We will be coming out with the full line of merchandise real soon, y'all. Takes a little bit of time, especially during these pandemic conditions. But I love you guys. I appreciate it. You know what we always say. If nobody told you that you're important, have worth, value, and that you mean something, and more importantly, that they love you. I love you. The One Love family loves you. And tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 p.m. on the West Coast, the One Love House and the 5 love languages. I want to thank you to my amazing co-host and all that she does.
Thank you.
Dopest Melanin. And we'll see y'all out there in them live streaming streets.
Let's put up the resource line one last time before we end.
No doubt. 100. So you got the National Alliance on Mental Illness. You have Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration. Let me see. Be Well Indiana. That one is now you can use any of these. Like I said, these are just to guide you in the right direction. They will find you resources in your local area, meetings, therapists, and things of that nature. And the hotlines, people to talk to. So again, you guys, I thank y'all for a great show. One love.
One love.